Humanity needs more than 90,000 new homes every single day. This pressure is pushing cities to build faster, denser, lighter. Lightweight buildings do not mean unsafe or that the walls will fall down, but they do mean sound waves can travel more easily. And if you have a noisy neighbor, you might wish these walls would fall down just so you could ask them to keep quiet. It sounds like a joke, but it's not for the 15,000 Aucklanders complaining about noise each year, and not for people in Europe who are facing the stress, cardiovascular disease, and early death, strongly linked to long-term noise exposure. So how do we make our homes quieter? The traditional answer is to fill empty wall and floor cavities with mass. As the saying goes, empty vessels make the most noise. Another common answer is to use resilient layers or mats, but one makes the building heavier, and the other makes the construction complicated and costly. And that's the wall I want to break. Sound insulation should not have to mean heavier building or complicated construction. My approach is to use granular media hidden inside wall and floor cavities to make sound waves lose energy using damping and sound absorption. Imagine being a particle packed in a floor cavity, like people in a crowded train. When the floor shakes, you bump and rump into your neighbor, reducing impact vibration from footstep through what we call damping. When the sound wave passes through the tiny gap between these particles, these gaps act like a porous sponge, slowing the speed of sound and absorbing the airborne sound like speech through what we call sound absorption. We did not study perfect engineered spheres. We studied particles, a range of them that people know, from pavement aggregate to fine powders. And we characterize how their mass, density, size, and stiffness control damping and sound absorption. Using this knowledge, we developed a heterogeneous granular media made from low value and waste materials. New sound insulation system, but also cheap, lightweight, and effective. When tested as a lightweight floor infill, it reduced sound transmission by more than 6 dB, beyond what added mass alone can explain. And 6 dB means more than half of the sound energy was technically gone. We showed through this research that the physics of small particles can create larger, quieter homes. Homes that do more than shelter people. They let them sleep, think, and live in peace. Thank you.
Questions for Yousif?
Thank you, Yousif. Have you looked at how this affects the thermal properties of the wall? I guess these are cavities that are usually filled with thermal insulation, or are these cavities that exist in the buildings?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. Basically, these cavities are filled with acoustic insulation, like a fibrous infill. So they are not filled with thermal insulation. And the reason why we're doing this, because this porous media that is being used now is only effective for very high frequency sound, like people speaking. So the impact noise is still existing there. So what we do basically, after validating and doing the experiment, we just fill the cavities with a granular media, a heterogeneous one, and then compare the results against simplest solution like mass and fibrous infill. So we're trying to say that we don't need fibrous infill anymore. We just use granular media instead. And we don't need mats and resilient layers.
I'm assuming it's fire retardant. Is it heavy? Are there any other characteristics that are really positive? Fire retardant?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, the only thing we've been looking at here, I can go to the slide. So
That's all right.
Yeah, not for all. The rubber, it's the shredded granules of rubber coming from end-of-life tires. So they are not fire retardant, they are flammable. But it's a small chemical solution that we can add to the part of the rubber granules, because the rest of the material are just solid aggregates. So that's the next step of
Cool.
the
All right.
research. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Great.
you.